Castro, our group has been to Homestead, and once again, we want to thank you so much for going there, for standing on the stepladders, for holding a heart like one of these, and seeing the children. Will you continue to bring up child detention and Homestead in the next debates if Homestead is still open and housing children? We want it to continue to be part of the conversation. It is the moral issue of our time.
I had a chance to visit Homestead 2 days after the debate, on that Friday after the Wednesday debate. I was happy to join the activists there. I got to climb up on the ladders and look into the field and the facility where the children are. It's heartbreaking.
It is heartbreaking.
It's also infuriating.
It is. It is.
And I absolutely am committed to continuing to bring this issue up, both in the debates and on the campaign trail.
Excellent.
I'm doing that every time that I can.
Thank you.
And so I will do what I can, and maybe most importantly, as y'all know, I've put out an immigration plan that has already challenged the field to adopt a good course of action so that this never happens again. I think that, of course, we're going to maintain a secure border, and there are consequences for crossing the border. But as I've said, we want to eliminate the law that made it possible for this administration to weaponize that misdemeanor crime and separate little children from their parents. I don't want to take a chance that any future administration is going to be as terrible as this administration. Some people have said, well, why don't you just leave that law in place and people in the administration can exercise prosecutorial discretion. In other words, they don't need to use it. And I said, that's not good enough. We already have a civil system that can hold people accountable, for what happens on the border. And we have laws specifically against drug trafficking, human trafficking, weapons trafficking. This is just about people that are trying to flee desperation. And I'm not going to make desperation a crime, and I'm not going to allow another administration to separate children from their families so cruelly. So we need to get rid of that section of it.
Can I ask you another question? So even if we change the laws, as we all know, he's not going to obey them. The Flores agreement, those kids are in there a lot more than 20 days. So how do we get even the existing laws enforced?
Well, you're right. They're keeping some longer than they should under that agreement. Look, we need to pressure as much as we can the administration through these oversight committees in Congress, because they have the ability to dig in deep and find out information and hold the administration accountable, including with contempt, including with real consequences to the individuals involved. That is the system that we're operating in. Right?
It has been over a year. I'm losing sleep. I don't know about you, but it's very upsetting.
Yeah. There are a lot of people that feel like you do. I've talked to a lot of people that feel like you do, and a lot of people who they know our history. They know the path that this administration seems to be putting us on, of division and bigotry and hatred, and the only place that can lead is to a country that is more divided and more likely for people to turn on each other. Right? And so, but right now, the worst thing that we can do is throw away the system that we have, like he wants us to. Right? We need to embrace the democratic process that we have and put as much pressure as we can through that democratic process. And the fact is that it takes, like y'all are showing, nobody wants to be here in the hot sun in the afternoon, but it does take effort and work. And there are a lot more people of goodwill and good hearts that are willing to put in that work, but a lot of times they need to be woken up. And y'all are helping to wake them up. That's what we need to do.
Do you think the folks in Washington don't realize how upset we are?
I think some of them do. I think a lot of, and this is not just a Democrat or Republican issue, but I think a lot of the Democrats do understand that. But the way that districts are gerrymandered, a lot of these Republicans are in very safe districts. So there's as much to do in convincing regular people that may be moderate or Republican, independent or Republican, about what's going on and why we need to change course. And that's why it matters, frankly, that y'all are out here. Because you know why? A lot of times people think of this issue and they think that it's only Hispanics that live in the border, in Texas or California, Arizona, that care about this. And that's not true. Right? This is really about the values that we have, no matter what the color of our skin is or where you live. Y'all have a powerful role to play in showing that. I'm telling you that you have a special and powerful role to play in showing that, and thank you for doing that. Thank you for taking the interest that you've taken. It means a lot, not only to those kids and their families, it means a lot to those of us who are also trying to fight, but sometimes also are easily dismissed as well. That's just something that you care about, because look at who you are.